Question number 1. What is the primary purpose of labor law as established by the foundational objectives discussed in the module? Option A. To ensure the efficiency of industrial production globally. Option B. To maintain a balance of power between employer and employee. Option C. To facilitate international trade agreements. Option D. To standardize global wage rates. Question number 2. Labor law emerged to mitigate the inherent inequality of bargaining power that exists between an individual employee and a large employer. This is a core concept in Option A. The foundational purpose of labor law. Option B. The theory of comparative advantage. Option C. The principle of caveat emptor. Option D. The doctrine of ultra vires. Question number 3. What historical change is often cited as the origin of modern labor law issues? Option A. The Renaissance. Option B. The Industrial Revolution. Option C. The Information Age. Option D. The Green Revolution. Question number 4. Which branch of law governs the collective relationships between employers and organized workers, like trade unions? Option A. Individual employment law. Option B. Administrative law. Option C. Collective labor law, industrial relations. Option D. Corporate law. Question number 5. What is the term for law that governs the relationship between an employer and a single employee, based mainly on the contract? Option A. Collective labor law. Option B. Individual employment law. Option C. Constitutional law. Option D. Criminal law. Question number 6. Which of the following is not typically considered a component of labor economy in India, as described in the module? Option A. Employment structure. Option B. Occupational structure. Option C. Investment banking regulations. Option D. Workforce participation. Question number 7. Which sector accounts for the majority of the Indian workforce, characterized by a lack of fixed hours, social security, and standard contracts? Option A. The formal sector. Option B. The organized sector. Option C. The informal sector. Option D. The public sector. Question number 8. What is the module's term for the increasing casualization and contractualization of work, where the workforce moves out of secure employment? Option A. The upward trend of formalization. Option B. The plateau of standardization. Option C. The sliding slope of informality. Option D. The peak of industrialization. Question number 9. Why is the sliding slope of informality considered a challenge for labor law? Option A. It creates a workforce that is entirely self-regulating. Option B. It diminishes the protective coverage of existing labor statutes. Option C. It leads to a surplus of highly skilled workers. Option D. It results in standardized global work hours. Question number 10. Which typology of central labor statutes in India focuses on the recognition and regulation of trade unions and mechanisms for resolving disputes? Option A. Legislations on safe, secure and decent conditions at work. Option B. Legislations on wages and remuneration. Option C. Legislations on collective bargaining and employment relations. Option D. Legislations on social security. Question number 11. Which law is the umbrella legislation passed in 2020 that deals with health, safety, and working conditions for workers? Option A. The Code on Wages, 2019. Option B. The Industrial Relations Code, 2020. Option C. The Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code, 2020. Option D, the Code on Social Security, 2020. Question number 12. Which code, passed in 2020, consolidates laws relating to trade unions, conditions of employment, and industrial disputes? Option A, the Code on Wages, 2019. Option B, the Industrial Relations Code, 2020. Option C, the Factories Act, 1948. Option D, the Code on Social Security, 2020. Question number 13. The Indian Contract Act, 1872 governs the formation and validity of an employment contract because employment is fundamentally a. Option A, statutory right. Option B, common law agreement. Option C, political mandate. Option D, religious obligation. Question number 14. What is required for an employment contract to be considered legally valid? Option A, offer and acceptance. Option B, consideration, example, salary, wages. Option C, lawful object, purpose of the contract. Option D, all of the above. Question number 15. In the context of employment, what is consideration? Option A, the employee's goodwill towards the company. Option B, the mutual exchange of promises, work for wages. Option C, the employer's tax liability. Option D, the duration of the employment. Question number 16. Which type of contract specifies a fixed beginning and end date for the employment relationship? Option A, permanent contract. Option B, contract of indefinite duration. Option C, fixed-term contract. Option D, casual labor contract. Question number 17. A contract that continues until terminated by either party, usually with notice, is known as a. Option A, fixed-term contract. Option B, permanent or indefinite duration contract. Option C, apprenticeship contract. Option D, piece rate contract. Question number 18. What is a contract of service? Option A, a contract between an employer and an independent contractor. Option B, a master-servant relationship where the employer controls how the work is done. Option C, an agreement to perform a single, specific task. Option D, an agreement to sell goods. Question number 19. What is a contract for service? Option A, a relationship where the employer controls how the work is done. Option B, a relationship with a self-employed person or independent contractor. Option C, a permanent employment relationship. Option D, a contract under the Industrial Relations Code. Question number 20. Which test is used by courts to distinguish between a contract of service and a contract for service? Option A, the market price test. Option B, the integration test or control test. Option C, the criminal intent test. Option D, the fiduciary duty test.